Welcome to 22 Tech Zoom. Today, we're following Wesley's incredible journey as he builds a fully functional houseboat designed for overnight adventures on the open water. This ambitious project begins with constructing the foundational cradle, a support system that will hold the frame components together, allowing all hull panels to be joined in perfect alignment. The journey begins with creating the fundamental structure that will hold everything together. Wesley starts by building the cradle, a critical support system that will anchor the frames and allow all panels to come together in perfect alignment. This cradle becomes the skeleton upon which the entire boat will take shape. Wesley uses an electric saw to carefully cut half-inch panels, ensuring each piece has the precise dimensions needed for the bow section. The thickness required is substantial, so multiple panels must be laminated together using epoxy adhesive. This process demands careful preparation. Wesley and his wife work as a team, coating each panel face with raw epoxy to create a thorough, even penetration. They then apply epoxy thickened with fumed silica, spreading it uniformly across every surface. The panels are pressed firmly onto a level surface with significant weight applied throughout the curing process. This technique creates a monolithic structure far stronger than any single panel could be. With the individual components ready, it's time to assemble the hull panels into full-length sheets. This is where precision becomes paramount. Wesley carefully covers each joint with raw epoxy, then positions fiberglass tape both underneath and over each seam. The tape is secured with thickened epoxy, creating a bond that will distribute stress evenly across the connection. The frames, essentially cross-sections of the hull shape, are positioned at carefully calculated intervals to create the three-dimensional form that defines the boat's profile. Working methodically, Wesley and his team carefully lift the long hull panels onto this mold, using fasteners to hang them in precise position. Every measurement must be exact. Small errors here will compound throughout the build. Once the basic structure is assembled, attention turns to creating smooth, fair surfaces. Wesley employs a block plane combined with a router fitted with a flush cut bit to trim all edges perfectly flush. The edges then receive treatment with an electric sander, ensuring uniform smoothness. Although the fiberglass tape provides excellent structural strength, it creates noticeable ridges that must be addressed. Wesley removes these with a power planer, progressively achieving a fairer surface. To maximize durability and performance, each seam receives 3 staggered layers of biaxial fiberglass tape, with corners overlapped for added strength. After taping and allowing the epoxy to cure fully, all imperfections are removed using electric sanders and power planers working in concert. For additional durability, Wesley covers the entire hull length with wide fiberglass cloth, creating a continuous reinforcement that ensures excellent bonding and dramatically increases overall stiffness. Wesley now creates a fairing compound by mixing epoxy with fumed silica and phenolic microballoons. This additive creates a consistent, workable putty that's significantly easier to sand than pure epoxy. Each surface receives 3 separate passes with this compound, with careful curing and sanding between each application. This patient, methodical approach creates a hull that's not only strong, but also aerodynamic and visually impressive. The bottom of the hull receives special treatment. Wesley applies a mixture of epoxy thickened with graphite, creating a hard yet slippery surface that provides exceptional abrasion resistance. Before paint can be applied, a primer coat ensures excellent chemical bonding to the underlying epoxy. Wesley applies several primer layers, allows a full week of curing, then sands carefully. Once the hull is smooth and ready, Wesley selects a striking blue color and applies 3 full coats, allowing each to dry completely before applying the next. The result is a professional quality finish that will protect the structure and turn heads on the water. While the hull receives its finishing touches, Wesley turns his attention to upgrading the trailer. New bunks are fabricated from pine boards that are sanded smooth, treated with liquid nails, and reinforced with screws. Wesley drills holes through the center of the bow and installs a rod with additional wooden blocks. Heavy-duty lifting straps are wrapped under the threaded rod at each end, connected to chain hoists that will raise the entire hull into its upright position. After countless hours of labor, the hull finally achieves its proper orientation, upright and level on the trailer. Wesley carefully trims the sides, flush with the rub rails, and prepares the interior to receive fiberglass reinforcement on all seams. His daughter assists with the sanding process, a task requiring patience and precision. Each seam is wetted with raw epoxy, then built up with thickened epoxy to create smooth transitions between panels. 3 layers of biaxial tape are installed on every interior seam. The entire interior receives protection through multiple coats of raw epoxy, followed by several applications of thickened epoxy. Wesley then assembles 4 stringers that will support the raised floor, with his wife helping to coat each with epoxy. Central floor frames are cut into 5 precisely measured sections, ensuring proper spacing between stringers. Using tabs of thickened epoxy, Wesley tacks the stringers in place. Then installs biaxial tape along each one, covering it with raw epoxy. Perpendicular frames are installed next, with all corners sealed using tape and epoxy in a process that's repeated for every intersection. Following detailed templates, Wesley cuts and assembles additional stringers designed to support the forward cockpit floor. Each surface is carefully glued, pressed onto level surfaces, weighted down, and allowed to cure thoroughly. A 30-gallon fuel tank will be positioned under the forward cockpit, requiring specially designed support frames kept deliberately low to maximize interior space. Everything beneath the fuel tank is sealed with 3 complete coats of epoxy, and then covered with plywood, featuring strategically placed holes that will later be filled with foam. Along the upper perimeter of all floor frames, Wesley installs cleats that increase stiffness, and provide essential support for the raised floor structure. After thorough sanding, 2-pound density expanding foam is carefully poured into the prepared holes throughout the forward compartment. This insulation serves the dual purpose of dampening noise while further stiffening the hull, critical for performance and comfort. The top surfaces of the frames are glued in place, and the foam-filled spaces are covered with plywood. Wesley fills every corner and joint with thickened epoxy, reinforcing everything with fiberglass tape for maximum durability. A frame for the hatch covering the fuel tank is attached, and once all sides are dry and ready, the fuel tank is inserted with careful attention to clearance for the fittings on its top. Wesley drills 10 precisely located holes where the outboard engine bracket will attach to the transom. Stainless steel backing plates are screwed in place to distribute loads properly. After applying marine-grade sealant around the perimeter, the bracket is installed securely. The cockpit floor is epoxied in place with filleted and taped edges. Fiberglass reinforcement covers the fuel tank compartment and forward cockpit, with all surfaces thoroughly epoxied for moisture protection. The remaining flooring is cut from plywood to exact specifications and applied to the frames. Cardboard templates help ensure perfect sizing, and Wesley carefully cuts hatches to provide access to the underfloor compartments. After thorough dust removal with a vacuum, the plywood is prepared for epoxy application. Glue is applied, surfaces are covered over the frames, and corners and joints are filled with thickened epoxy and reinforced with fiberglass tape. Cabin bulkheads are cut with precision. One marks the rear of the cabin and includes a doorway, while others define the middle section where the kitchenette and bathroom will eventually be located. Wesley roughing in the plumbing layout, beginning with a custom shower pan for the bathroom. Wedges are cut with precise vertical drops to ensure water collecting on sloped surfaces drains forward into the pan. After saturating with epoxy and gluing with staple reinforcement, the surface is sanded smooth. PVC tubing is installed in floor cuts to channel shower water into a tank equipped with an automatic sensor and pump. The transverse roof beams are constructed from 3 laminated layers of plywood bonded with epoxy. Using a jigsaw and flush-cut router bit, Wesley cuts these to exact shape. And and then cuts 5 notches that will hold 5 wooden stringers running the full roof length. The 5 support stringers are cut and assembled with rounded bottom edges. Using a roundover bit ensures precise fit with the beam notches. Once all bulkheads are filleted and taped in place, the transverse beams are installed carefully. Cabin side panels are dry fitted first, checked for fairness as they curve around bulkheads, then scribed and trimmed carefully. Once satisfied with the fit, Wesley tacks them with epoxy tabs, then fillets and tapes them permanently. Roofing begins with dry fitting each panel using clamps, ratchet straps, and screws, allowing Wesley to trace the beams and stringers underneath. Once epoxy sets, the surface looks perfect. With the cabin taking shape, Wesley installs a heavy-duty bow eye for secure docking. He creates a shelf to reinforce the bow and store anchor line, measuring and cutting a hole for a hawse fair lead that guides the anchor line through the bow perfectly. The hull height is reduced to ease boarding by cutting and shaping. Then filling and sealing the roof with raw epoxy and 1 layer of biaxial fiberglass. A flush mount latch is carefully installed into the fuel compartment hatch, ensuring a level, streamlined appearance. A thin layer is precisely trimmed so the latch aligns perfectly with surrounding surfaces. Support cleats for the side deck are installed, with additional planks screwed in place for firmness. Glue is applied and the side deck attached, with careful alignment before allowing it to set. Wesley walks the surface to ensure proper pressure, then screws the plywood at evenly spaced intervals. The deck is filleted, taped, and sanded. Additional 9-ounce fiberglass cloth is applied to cabin sides and decks, providing extra strength and durability. These areas are coated with epoxy for structural firmness and moisture resistance. The cockpit receives identical treatment, durable fiberglass combined with epoxy resin, creating a smooth, weather-resistant surface. This sealing ensures long-lasting protection against moisture, UV exposure, and harsh environmental conditions. Face panels for rear cockpit seats are cut and shaped precisely. Hatch gutters are constructed around integrated storage compartments to direct water away. Plywood panels are positioned and screwed securely, with all joints sealed with epoxy and reinforced with fiberglass tape. One seat serves as the propane locker, with the floor raised to accommodate the required safety drain that vents escaping gases overboard. Wesley carefully cuts scupper slots in the transom to allow efficient cockpit drainage. Each slot is sized so water collecting in the cockpit quickly flows out. Drainage channels guide water through seat faces and out through the scuppers. Inside the propane locker, marine-grade foam fills all voids, and the floor panel is glued securely in place. Precise face panels are cut for each seat top and carefully shaped for perfect fit. After positioning and sanding to create clean transitions, all joints are sealed with epoxy and fiberglass tape. Access hatches are cut out and hatch gutters installed. A 20-pound propane tank is test-fitted into the locker to ensure perfect dimensions. Hinges are cut to proper size and screwed on top of the seats, and hatch lids are installed. Scuppers at the forward cockpit and provide drainage for rain and bilge water, carefully placed for efficient flow. The bow shelf is completed with careful filing and taping of all joints. Support cleats for side decking are installed along the cockpit. Corners are reduced for a more pleasing, intentional shape, with each edge carefully rounded and softened. All surfaces are meticulously sanded for an even, polished finish that smooths the wood and prepares it for strong bonding in coming phases. Side deck pieces are measured and trimmed for precise fit, positioned carefully and firmly settled in place. The covering panel for the bow shelf is meticulously cut to size and shaped to fit seamlessly. Once aligned, it's carefully applied and fastened, with edges sanded smooth for a flawless surface. Windows must now be installed. Wesley assembles the window frame, ensuring every piece fits cleanly. Each plank is cut to precise dimensions, and cabin sides are framed to receive windows. 4 windows are installed on each side for good visibility and ventilation. Precise face panels are cut and shaped for perfect fit. Framing is epoxied around each window cutout, with plank frames mounted from the inside. The cabin door framing is shaped, coated with epoxy, and mounted securely from inside. Each door is built from 1x1 framing, sandwiched between plywood skins, epoxied and glued firmly together. Polyurethane board maintains perfect shape and insulation between panels. Door panels are coated with epoxy, a crucial step for a high humidity environment. Hinges are installed on the main cabin door to create a fold-up panel. Strong magnets guide the door into proper closed or open positions. This design decision neatly clears the seat outside, allowing easy movement and better access. Windows and doorways at each end of the cabin are cut and framed, with particular attention to the front driver's station where visibility is critical. Exterior window framing uses plywood strips with rounded outer edges for durability and aesthetics. A custom hatch is built and installed on the cabin roof to house a ventilation fan, carefully measured and framed for a snug fit. Rear windows are matched in size with a slightly wider middle window. Frames overlap window openings on all sides, creating a lip for plexiglass installation. Cockpit combings are fabricated from sturdy 3/4-inch plywood. Notches are carefully cut along the inner curve to relieve tension and allow flexing without cracking. The plywood is treated with boiling water, softening fibers to form smoothly around the desired radius. Each curved plank is positioned and screwed along the inner edge of the side deck for a tight fit. After drying, thickened epoxy is scraped into notches to permanently bond the curves in place. Heavy-duty bunks supporting the front hull half are carefully curved and beveled to match the hull shape, ensuring even support along their length. They're topped with low-friction glides for smoother launching and retrieving. The boarding ladder is mounted for easy lifting or smooth swinging. All bare wood surfaces receive 3 epoxy coats, followed by marine-grade primer and crisp white paint. All previously removed hardware is reinstalled with hinges properly aligned and secured. The fuel locker locking handle is reattached. Stainless steel rails are installed along the top, 3 on each side, giving a finished appearance. Water drain fittings, door locks, and hose pipes are installed with care and precision. Each stainless piece receives a final polish with special cleaner. A custom-made sticker provides the finishing character touch. Work on the cabin interior finally begins. Wall panels are cut from plywood, trimmed and adjusted for snug fit within the framing. Both sides receive high-quality sealer coating. XPS foam board insulates the walls with expanding foam applied around edges, both sealing and locking insulation in place, keeping the cabin cozy in any weather. After sanding, all surfaces are coated with epoxy for high-quality finishes. Five frames are carefully measured and crafted for perfect fit. Floor access hatches are sealed with durable epoxy compounds, with every gap meticulously filled with foam, and all frame and board joints sealed with foil tape for an airtight reflective barrier. Interior walls are templated, precisely cut, and fitted into place. Side walls and window frames are painted crisp, clean white, and once dry, installed piece by piece inside the cabin. Windows are installed using high-quality marine-grade sealant, featuring built-in screens and thick cast acrylic plexiglass for clarity and durability. Silicone building sealant provides long-term performance protection. Interior blinds protect from sunlight and UV damage. The same process applies to all remaining windows. A ventilation fan is installed on the cabin roof to ensure proper airflow. After countless hours of meticulous work, preparation, and skilled craftsmanship, the houseboat is finally complete and ready for its maiden voyage. What began as raw materials has transformed into a floating home designed for comfort, safety, and performance. The journey from vision to water is complete. If you found this project fascinating, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more extraordinary builds coming soon.